Welcome to another week of Huddle Up. I'm your host, Paul, and if you don't like basketball, you might not want to watch this next hour. Just kidding. Please watch. We'll talk about something else, I promise.
Maybe.
Big night tonight. JT to my right. Your left, if you're watching on television. We have the Warriors going for record number 73, and the Lakers going for nothing. Just a Kobe Bryant farewell.
Final farewell.
Final farewell. Two huge moments for the NBA. Probably the two biggest moments we've seen in a long time for the National Basketball Association. I can't really think of another time in recent memory where a lot came down to one night of the NBA, unless we're talking, LeBron winning his first championship, the Lakers going for a fourth or something like that. It's been a while.
Well, it's more than just those two games, too.
And so is it the final night of the NBA tonight?
It is.
No matter what. So there's a lot of games going on tonight.
There are, and there's tons of potential. Both divisions are pretty much locked up as far as who's going to be in, with the exception of the West. They've got one question there on Houston versus, or Houston and, who's the other one? Who's the one below them? Jazz?
Yes.
Jazz. Yeah, Houston and the Jazz. And then in the East, there's a big battle tonight for the Celtics versus Miami.
Right.
Whoever
And
wins that
now,
gets home court for that game.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Miami's beat Boston this year, right? I think they're 0-2 against Boston.
They won one.
Did they win at least one?
I'm not positive.
Okay.
But either way,
Right.
So you've got a huge game there for Boston and Miami on who gets the home. They're playing each other in the playoffs. That's set. Question is, which one's
Who's
at
home, who's away, right?
which is huge for the NBA. Then you kind of look over and you go, you've got Dallas versus the Spurs, which is a big game.
We were saying earlier that that's a big game because you really don't know what the Spurs are going to do. Because normally you've got the 2 seed locked up. It doesn't matter. Why start people when you're going to be playing in a couple days anyway for the playoffs?
The only catch I can see for San Antonio is it is a question match of which team would they prefer to play
later
in the first round, because it's either going to be
right.
Dallas
If they beat Dallas and Memphis wins, you play Dallas again in your series. If you lose to Dallas, then you're most likely going to be playing Memphis. So it's in your own hands. Granted, you still have to win, but it's in your own hands.
Yeah, I mean, so you might see, depending on maybe they rather play Memphis, so maybe you see them come out and lose to Dallas, or maybe they prefer to play Dallas and they go out and beat them. I mean, there's question points out there. Every game has a lot riding on it, whether it be home court for the playoff game, whether it be records and that kind of stuff. When you look at the Golden State game, the only thing that matters in that is the fact it's the 73rd win. They've had a couple of days rest. That team is emotional and wild right now to get that. I mean, no one is more emphatic about getting that record than Draymond Green. I mean, that man is crazy, and that team is crazy. I mean, the last game, Kerr wanted to sit several guys, and they all went to Kerr and said, I'm not sitting.
Right.
Draymond went to Kerr and said, you're not cutting my minutes. If we're out there to win this game, I'm playing. That's all there is to it. You're not limiting me. This is how it is. I'm either 100 or I'm nothing. And Draymond came out and said some respectful things about it, saying how he respected Kerr and he knows it's about playoffs and what have you. But at the same time, I'm in that same understanding of, if you're playing me, I'm playing. If you want to sit me, sit me. That is what it is. But I'm not going to go 50%. You know what I mean? Which for most athletes in any sport, you go into a practice and you're like, we're going to run these drills at 50%. I don't do 50%. I'm either I'm 100 or nothing. And that's just the way I am. And most people in sports play that way.
Right.
So, I mean, I understand that. So you've got a very emotional team there. You've got Memphis, who wants to win so they don't play San Antonio.
Because that's what I had said to you before is, you do have Memphis, however, that they're not just going to roll over to the Warriors. Yes, I mean, I'll just go over some of their games. They played them so far this year 3 times. They lost by 50 points the first time they played them. But this is very early in the season when Golden State, everyone's talking 82-0, type of situation. Then they lost by 16. Then they lost by 1. And that was after the second loss was after a loss in Dallas the night before. So you played 2 tough teams back to back. You're gonna see a little bit of a struggle. The last game they lost by 1. So I mean, you're looking at the progression history. If we believe in progression in sports, they should technically win tonight. How they're going to go out and do that, I don't know, because Memphis does have stuff to fight for. Do you want to play? Here's what you're looking at in the way that it should work out. If you go out there and win tonight, and you have to play, what would we say, OKC, then you get to play the Warriors in the second round. As opposed to, if you lose tonight, you have to go and play the Spurs. I don't think anyone wants to play the Spurs. And it's funny how we talk about the Warriors. I still don't want to play the Spurs if I'm an NBA player, because that's not the team I want to go out and try and play first round. That's been sitting and resting this entire month.
Yeah.
So that's what would scare me. I'm going out there in Memphis. I'm going out there to win. And that's what I think you're going to have a really great game tonight between the Warriors and Memphis, because they both have something to play for. Now, is it the end of the world if Memphis loses? No. Is it the end of the world if the Warriors don't get their 73rd win? Kind of, yeah. This team has been fighting, and they've been very vocal that, the players themselves, we want this record. Mm-hmm. We've been told by the greats, go out and get it.
Yeah.
They have a lot to lose tonight. Memphis doesn't. You're either playing OKC or you're playing Spurs. You're still in the playoffs. Yeah. So there's a lot riding for the Warriors tonight.
There is, and part of me thinks it could be a close game, and part of me sees it as we're going to see a 30-point victory for Golden State. As you talked about, so at the beginning of the season, they beat them by 50. They were at their high point. They're playing that ball.
That was an unheard of, not victory, but like stretch of games for the Warriors.
Absolutely. And then the 16-point victory, which has pretty much been their standard all year long. That's normal. And then they've been on that little rough patch. Well, they've come to life. Curry has found his shot again, minus it wasn't great the other night, but he found himself again. This team is emotional. They are energetic. Barnes is playing well. They're finally healthy. They're going to beat up Memphis. They can play small ball. They can play big. Now that they have Ezeli, they have what's his face? The Brazilian guy, Berjao, who hasn't seen time since Ezeli came back. Then you've got Spates, who's a 6'11" point guard, more or less. How do you guard him? Who do you? They play such a different style of ball when they are healthy and when they are having fun. Put it that way. And these guys are going to go out and have fun tonight, because at the end of the day, yes, they have something to lose in not breaking that record, but at least they're tying it. No matter what, they're tying the record. And they're still the number 1 seed. So at the end of the day, they do have a lot to lose, but it's not as much. I think you're going to see a team go out there and have fun and put everything on the line to win. And when you look at Golden State and their statistics and the way they've played this game all year long, you're not beating them. You're just not. If they're in that place where they have to win, which is what last game was, they had to win that in order to break that record, you're not beating them. You can't. You can't beat that team.
I think it's going to be a real interesting game. I am one to never take probability out of a game. Like, I'm not going to say, okay, the Warriors, they're going for history tonight. It's going to be an easy win. Look what they've done. Because I never want to take an underdog out of the equation.
No, I agree.
I'm excited to see what the final score will be, if it'll even be close. It may only be 4-point victory, but was it really close the whole time, or did they kind of let up? Or are we going to see Curry, Draymond, and whoever on the bench in the fourth quarter because they're ahead by 25 points?
Yeah.
On the other side of that is Kobe Bryant's last game, wearing my Laker purple, not on purpose. What do you think is going through his mind right now? I mean, you're talking It's 2 o'clock. It's 10. It's 11 o'clock. In LA right now. He's got, about what, 8-9 hours until his final tip off.
Kobe.
20 years.
Kobe's an athlete. He takes every game the same way. I mean, in every interview you can ever hear from him, every game is the same thing. It doesn't matter what's on the line or what's at stake. He takes it the same way, which is the same idea as all the greats. They all play every game the same way. I doubt he's thinking about the fact that it's his last game. That won't sink in until after basketball is done. That's who he is. He wants to be on the court. He wants to play, and he wants to do well. And I think, if anything, he wants to go out and give the Laker fans that have ridden the roller coaster with him, the ups, the downs, the championships, the rings, the awards, the battles, the controversy, the moral issues that Kobe has progressed through, and give them a night to remember. I would love, as a Kobe fan, to watch him go out and score 50, score 60 points. I don't think it's possible anymore. I think that day's past. And when I look to that game, it's just going to be an emotional roller coaster. I mean, that man is going to hear from every Laker legend. You're going to see Shaq in the stands. You're going to see Shaq there. You're going to see Magic courtside. You're going to see, who else are you going to see? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, you're going to see all these legends. Michael Jordan will be there, without a doubt. I'd be shocked if he wasn't. I mean,
which game would he be at? That's a good question, and that's a question for later on for you too. I mean, which one would you rather see?
For a man,
but I'm saying, like, for someone like Michael Jordan, like, you have your pick. You can go see a team beat your record. You can go see a legend hang them up for the last time.
And I think the way that the true athletes in this game have played, I think he's going to see Kobe. I think I would expect to see him there. The closest thing to ever live up to the Michael Jordan legend of being that good. A man who studied his game, role modeled after him, who has had a million conversations with the man trying to ask questions.
And he really picked up his career once Jordan was, you know what I mean? Like, Jordan is phasing out, and here comes Kobe.
Oh, he did. And there's a great article, if anyone reads anymore, for that matter. Go on ESPN. There's a great article about Kobe and his inspiration and the players that inspired him and how he became who he is and why he plays the way that he does. And it's a great article, and he talks about how Michael Jackson was his biggest influence going into the NBA, and how throughout different points in his career as he aged, he looked for influence from different style players. I mean, Michael Jordan all the way through. He talked to Olajuwon. He talked to Magic. He talked to Bird. He talked to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and studied each of their types of games as his style of play had to change. I mean, when Kobe lost his legs and he couldn't become that high flyer anymore, he became a low post threat. Who'd he learn from? He learned from Kareem. I mean, these are the types of things that you don't think about, but you just think about Kobe being one of the best to ever play the game. Well, he is one of the best, and he learned and picked and poked and stole aspects of every player's games. It talks about how he spoke to Jordan and asked him, how do I perfect this fadeaway that you made what it is? And Kobe taught him, or Michael taught him,
right.
And it's neat learning that aspect of it. And one of the things that was most intriguing to me in that article is Kobe, he's a love-hate player. You either love him or you hate him. There's a lot of people who have played with him that can't stand him. And there's a lot of people who idolize after the way that he plays that game. And this article talks all about it. And it talks about how when he first started in the NBA, so many people were like, dude, you got to chill out. You got to not play like every minute's your last. And pretty much the statement is, why not? Why shouldn't I play like that? This is the game I love. I want to be the best, and I'm going to be the best.
I think that's real apparent that when you look back on someone like Kobe. I've been a Celtics fan my whole life, but just because that's the team that's in my backyard. And I know a lot of people don't like the Lakers because of the whole Bird Magic issue. Like my older relatives, they're very anti-Laker. Growing up, I really wasn't because I saw the greatness that was Kobe Bryant very young. This guy was fun to watch. Mm-hmm. So when I had friends that just didn't like the Lakers because, and that's, Kobe kind of goes, he's like, handcuffed to that. Like, oh, I don't like Kobe because I don't like the Lakers. For me, it wasn't that way. I really enjoyed watching him play and watching the style of game that he had throughout the years. One thing I want to throw out is what can make tonight special for Kobe Bryant. When you look at the greats stepping away, Peyton Manning just did it with the Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl and good. Even as far as last year was it last year? 2 years ago with Derek Jeter. Going out on, winning a game in a walk-off in Yankee Stadium on his final at-bat ever, and then not ever for in baseball, but in Yankee Stadium, he goes out and does a walk-off. What is going to make tonight special for Kobe? Because the Lakers aren't doing anything. They're not in the playoffs. They're likely going to have the first, second, or third pick next year in the draft. So is tonight really just about saying goodbye? And is that really all he has to hold on to tonight? Because if he went out there and threw up 90 points, it wouldn't matter. It's as if they let him. You know what I mean? So, like, what is really going to make tonight special for Kobe Bryant?
The thing that's special for Kobe tonight is it's the last time he's walking onto that court in L.A. That is special in its own right. He lived a phenomenal career. He is going out when he is still one of the top 30% of players in the NBA, and if anyone wants to argue that, they're an idiot. I mean, he still has a lot of life left in him. There's no argument in that. He's not the Kobe of old, and that's how we look at him now. He's too old. He can't play. He still can play. He's still that good. He just can't do what he used to. Mm-hmm. And I think tonight is about the emotion of the crowd. Tonight is going to be about saying goodbye. I'm going to be shocked if he doesn't get at least one chance for a breakaway dunk of prolific nature, of just that final wow moment of his career.
So you think that there will be a wow moment?
I think there will be a wow moment. And whether or not that's given to him or
right.
whether or not he's earned that, I think doesn't matter. But I think there's going to be that wow moment of you're going to look at him and go, he's still Kobe,
I could see a couple things happening tonight, and two things I'd like to see happen tonight. One is, would I like to see him go out there and shoot, 40, 50 points? Sure. I mean, it's just fun to watch. But here's what I realistically think is going to happen tonight. I think he'll probably put in about 28, 30 minutes, if that. And I think you're going to see a lot of passing tonight. I don't think you're going to see a lot of Kobe taking the shot. I think you're going to see more of like an All-Star Game-esque type of mentality with him. I'm here to have fun, and that's it. I'm not here to compete to my 110% potential that I think that I can do. I think you're going to see a more relaxed look on Kobe tonight, a very humble Kobe Bryant tonight.
Oh, I agree. I absolutely agree. The thing for me is it's sad seeing him go. It's always sad seeing that legend walk away, who you grew up watching and admiring, and all you can do is look at the current players and go, who's next? Who's going to put on those shoes? Who's going to live up to that potential? And for Kobe, there's going to be a wow moment of some stature.
Your wow moment is probably going to come either at the beginning
or the very end.
At the beginning while they're introducing him, or at the end when the fans are saying goodbye. I don't think it's going to be during the game. I don't expect a wow moment.
And that could be very true.
And if it happens, if a wow moment happens, it's because of ESPN hyping it up.
And that has potential too. But I mean, this whole year has been a send-off for Kobe. I mean, it's been different. The All-Star game where we all hoped he would blow up and have that moment. He is happy with his decision.
That's what I mean. That's what I see happening. I seeing that All-Star moment come back. I see it being the same type of situation. Not going out there and trying to score as many points as possible. Go out there, be humble, have fun with the kids that are out there playing. It's obvious that he didn't really get along with everyone this year, and that's not to his own fault. That's to the team's fault. That team is a mess this year, an absolute mess. So it's not all on his shoulders by any means. It's partially on his shoulders, but not the whole thing. So you're looking at a team that's just so messed up that he really get to enjoy his final season, and obviously not. Obviously he would rather be competing for a playoff spot. That's not the case, but even so, it's not like they even had a successful year in any way.
No.
This was just a terrible year for such a great person. Very similar to Derek Jeter with the Yankees. That team was a mess that year, but he still went out with class in a way that no one expected him to, but wasn't surprised if he did. So, I mean, part of me is hoping for the buzzer beater from Kobe Bryant tonight. You know, something vintage.
Yeah.
That stellar pass, is anything that would say, goodbye Mamba type of situation. We talked earlier before, $27,000 for a floor seat to the Lakers game tonight. Here's your unlimited credit card, John. You've been watching the Warriors all season. You even bought NBA package so you could watch them, and now you have Kobe. You're arguably your favorite player NBA all time. Which game are you spending that credit card on?
I'm going to the Warriors.
You're going to the Warriors. See, here's where explain, and I'll disagree with you already.
The reason why is, although I would love to see Kobe's final game, the simple fact is I know what it is. It's a send-off, and as we just talked about, we're not going to see Kobe put up 60 points. Although I'd love to see it, just for the sake of it. It's a send-off for him, and that's it. Which he's earned, and he's earned to get the that final moment. And as a fan, you always want to see that final moment. But there's another final moment that's going on, and I can't.
Yes and no. You say final moment for the Warriors, but people may have thought that when the Bulls did it. Well, that record will never be broken. And look, tonight, there's a chance for that to be broken.
There is.
When is the next time we're going to see a person like Kobe Bryant say goodbye? Because I'm not ready, and I don't think anybody is ready to compare someone like LeBron to Kobe.
No.
So when is the next time we're going to see a player of this magnitude in the NBA say goodbye? Because right now there isn't one in the NBA, a current player in the NBA that lives up to his status. So you're still looking at another, couple decades before we even come close to deciding whether or not we're going to have another Kobe Bryant moment. I think, and within that time, that same time frame, the Warriors are beating or have a chance to beat the Bulls record. So I mean, in 20 years from now, we could be seeing that again. A similar situation, someone that's coming in that's going to be the next Kobe Bryant saying goodbye. If I had a choice, as lame as the game sounds, Lakers and was it Utah? I feel like I would still choose that. If I wanted to see greatness tonight, I would go to that, because are the Warriors going to be a party tonight? Oh God, yeah, it's going to be a party tonight. Everyone that goes to that game is going to be, insane to the max, and probably half in the bag. But for something to say goodbye to a player, if I could afford tickets right now to go see David Ortiz in his final game at Fenway Park, I would have already bought the tickets. That in my mind is my Boston relative to that, or something like Tom Brady's last game or something like that. That's what I would go to. I would rather see that than see a team try and break a record that has just come into the limelight in the last few years. Because I feel like there's going to be more seasons of greatness from them, as opposed to this is it. This is Kobe's last hurrah, if you will.
I definitely agree with that.
And that's coming from a non-Lakers fan. I'm not a Lakers fan at all in any way, shape, or form.
The catch for me is I'm a cheap ass. Okay, I really am. And
I said unlimited. I
don't
said
care.
It doesn't matter. No. I said unlimited. You have no financial obligation. I'm giving you a free ticket.
I don't care.
A free ticket to either game.
If I'm spending money, free or
free ticket.
If you're giving me a free ticket,
I'm taking the financial burden out of the mix. I want you to pick with your heart, and you pick the Warriors.
Because at the end of the day, I'm at a basketball court to watch a game. and the Lakers game isn't going to be a game, and that's it. And although the Warriors are young and they're going to have several,
But if
more
the
good
Warriors
seasons,
win by 30, is that necessarily a game either?
yes.
No, come
Yes,
on. How can you? If
absolutely.
a team
'Cause
is
they are
that
fun to
dominant,
watch.
if a team is that
Fun.
dominant, it's not a game.
It's still fun to watch.
It's a playoff practice round.
I truly can say I don't see the 95-96 Bulls went back-to-back years of having phenomenal years.
Right. Well, the first year they broke the record. It was 72. How many wins did they have?
it was like 68,
69, right?
They went back-to-back amazing years. I don't see Golden State doing that. I don't. I
Well,
think
after
this is
winning last year, no one expected this either, though.
No, and
Maybe
if
they did it in
do-
reverse,
Yeah,
think of it that way.
It could have been. I mean, the way Curry has shot this ball this year, I don't know if I'm ever going to witness that ever again. To me, seeing Kobe go off would be fantastic, but seeing the end of an amazing season with Golden State is just as good.
And both are historic in their own minds.
They
but
are.
That's what I'm asking.
They truly
yeah.
are. And it's a next to impossible decision to make. I mean, what do I do in that case if somebody hands me tickets? I don't know.
Yeah, they just hand it out to you. Here's one, and here's the other. I mean, you were quick to grab the Golden State. You were like, you didn't even think about it. Like, Kobe, who are you? I've been
No,
watching you for 20 years. I don't even care. I'm going to
it's
go
not
watch
like
a team
it's
that's
that
just
quick.
got good the last couple of years.
And it's not like that, but it's just.
Jumping on that Golden State bandwagon, you left Kobe out to dry.
And it's not leaving Kobe out to dry. As I told you earlier, I've got two
Now,
TVs
here's the
set in my
difference.
basement.
Now that's the difference. That's why I structured the question that way, and not, hey, which one you watching tonight, John? Because I know you have two TVs tonight. You're going to have the audio of one on and the video of the video and audio of the other. I get that. So don't. That's not what. That's why I phrased the question. Here's your free ticket to whichever game.
How do you pick that? I mean, it's tough. Both games are going to be amazing to
In its own
be
mind,
at,
right.
to witness, to watch, to be part of.
I just think
And-
the atmosphere of Kobe Bryant with the Lakers. I mean, you're finally going to get the Laker faithful out there for a game that they're excited about. I think you're going to see a different atmosphere than you've seen all year round, which I think is apparent for anybody. And that is the atmosphere I want to be around, celebrating greatness from the last 20 years. And I get why people would want to go to the Warriors to celebrate greatness of the last 82 games. So I see both sides. I'm swing towards Kobe. I think that would be a more fitting thing to say is, I went to that game, then I went to, because technically, there are thousands upon thousands of people to say they went to the record-breaking, Golden State Warriors win. Because who's to say that a game at the beginning of the year wasn't, the backbreaker? I get it's 73 wins, but that last win isn't necessarily the overall record breaker. 73 wins the entire season is the record breaker. So that's just the way I look at it.
I agree with that. And, at the end of the day, I mean, even when I was explaining to my wife that tonight, to start off, I'm listening to LA. I want to hear Kobe's entrance. I want to see those beginning moments, and I want to hear them. And then after that, I'll probably switch over the audio to the other game. And my wife's like, I don't care about Kobe. I'm like, well, I do. I want to be part of that. And I want to
you don't care
witness
about
that.
Kobe. You've just stated that on
Easy now.
on regional television.
Easy now.
That you do not. Kobe. Who? Okay, I'm watching Golden State. So I'll go into this. We'll stick with Kobe real quick. Halfway through, you can call in any time if you want to talk about Kobe. If you don't want to talk about Kobe, it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to be watching. He's not going to be watching him. 802-527-6449. I'm going to be sleeping. I'm going to be so tired to stay up till 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning for teams that I could watch the highlights on ESPN or sport or whatever tomorrow. That's fine with me. That's kind of where my head's at. But because I have no connection to him. Golden State, a lot of fun to watch. Kobe has been a lot of fun to watch. But do I really want to stay up and get tired? No.
Yeah, big old baby.
I know. So I'll leave you with this. Kobe, tonight is the end of Kobe Bryant in LA. Is it fair to say he has been the biggest superstar in LA the last 20 years? And I say the last 20 years. I'm not talking about before his time or any time, but I'm trying to remember an athlete in this time that's been in LA, the Los Angeles play, that has been a bigger name than Kobe Bryant?
No one. No one's a bigger name, but Kobe could have never done the things he did without certain players.
Oh no,
in
I'm
his
not
side.
taking that up. I'm not taking that into consideration. I'm not talking about Shaq as the player, Pau Gasol coming in and helping him as well. I'm not trying to say it, but I'm thinking biggest superstar name in Los Angeles these last 20 years. I can't think of anyone else that would trump Kobe Bryant, especially with the greatness that comes with Kobe Bryant.
No, I mean, and you've had several amazing players in LA.
And I'm talking all sports, by the way. I'm not just talking basketball. I'm talking hockey, baseball.
It doesn't matter. There's
Right.
no one in LA that compares to Kobe, and there's a couple more that you can put in there, but they don't trump
Did
Kobe.
David Beckham play for the Los Angeles Galaxy? That might be the only international name.
Yes, he did.
But he didn't really play. He was hurt most of the time.
I think so. But even still, who cares? When you look at the Lakers over the last 20 years, you've got names like Shaq, Fisher, Ori.
You could say Shaq.
Fox.
You could put Shaq in that mix as the most dynamic player to play in Los Angeles. But I'm talking over the span of 20 years. You can't.
There's a lot to be said for Kobe and the fact that he played his entire career with
One
LA.
team, right.
And that's really one of the
and
biggest
that's what I'm
things
getting at.
that
I'm talking about
pulls him.
regional. What other name? And if there isn't a name out there, and a name that, so my question to you is: now that Kobe will say goodbye tomorrow, who's next? We've always talked about who's going to be the next Kobe Bryant. I'm not even going to ask that. Who's going to be the next star of LA? Can
They
you
don't
think of
know.
one? And I don't mean the Lakers. I mean Los Angeles. Who's the next? I have someone in mind, and I had a question. And my question is: do you have anyone that you think could be the next star of LA? And I don't even it doesn't have to be for the next 20 years. But let's say 5 for the next 5 years. Who's the next star of LA?
Well, no one on the Lakers. I
Great.
think that's easy. Lakers are out.
Lakers are out.
If you look at the Clippers, there are a couple potentials. The original thought was that Blake Griffin was going to be the new LA superstar.
Post Kobe.
And that has seemed to kind of come down a little bit.
What about baseball? Is Yeso Puig for the Dodgers, as dynamic as he is when he's in the outfield, and the character that he comes, is he the next? Is Clayton Kershaw, the Cy Young award-winning pitcher? You know what I mean? Like, can a baseball player be that dynamic player? I don't know. You have Mike Trout, you have Albert Pujols for the Angels, you have Jonathan Quick, one of the greatest goalies out there right now in the NHL that's in Los Angeles. There's other players that come into consideration.
There are,
but who could be as dynamic as someone like Kobe Bryant? Because even if Kobe Bryant, I mean, you got to think in recent memory, he's only won one championship in the last 10 years.
No.
Yeah, 2009 or 2008, whichever one
two.
after the Celtics.
2.
When was the last one he won?
He won the 3 with Shaq, and
Right.
then he won 2 after that.
Right, I'm talking about the one with Pau Gasol. It was
won
after
2
the
with
Celtics
Pau.
won in 07. They won in 09.
He won 2 with Pau.
I don't remember him winning 2 with Pau.
He won 2 with Pau.
But like in the last 5 years, maybe one. Can't remember who won in 2010.
I don't.
That's the only.
I don't know. I don't remember. the years he won, but-
Regardless, like recent memory, he hasn't been the most dynamic player, but in LA, he kind of is still. So,
without a doubt.
like, who's going to be the next face of Los Angeles? I have someone in mind. I haven't said him yet.
The question that comes into my mind now, minus I'm not a huge baseball fan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I watch the Red Sox. I root for the Red Sox. I hate the Yankees. If you beat the Yankees, I love you. But I mean, when I think LA, basketball is the only thing that comes to mind.
Right,
And
and
I don't know how you trump.
I think when you think LA, the Lakers are that's like your number one, if not your number 2 answer when
Over
you're
the
talking about
last-
sports in general. And that's if you're a hockey fan, baseball fan, whatever.
Since what, the 50s? Going all the way back. I mean, the superstar, the top 10 of all time to play basketball have been Lakers.
Right.
I through every generation, between Kareem, between Magic. I mean,
That's what I mean. Los Angeles so.
It is
if-
basketball.
If they don't see the next superstar in their draft, whoever they pick up, and it ends up not being the case, who in your mind could maybe make a case for being the next face of LA? I got one person in mind, and I have a joke one in mind. you want me to give you mine? Because there's something you're not remembering.
Sure.
They're no longer the St. Louis Rams. They're the
true.
Los Angeles Rams. And Todd Gurley is a lot of fun to watch.
He is.
And he's got a lot of prospect in him.
But he's a running back.
Which can be some of the most dynamic players in football.
But
especially his
anyone
style
who
of
plays
running.
fantasy football cannot gamble on a good rookie year because it's 50-50
Right, but that's
chance
what I
on how
mean.
they come back.
That's what I mean. You had a guy
So
who's
there's
coming
potential.
off injury, who has a great rookie year. Now what's he going to do when he's got a full year of health in him?
He has potential. I will definitely give him that.
And the next one's Ellen DeGeneres because she owns LA anyway. So
I like her.
we talked a little bit of baseball. I'll get into that in just a second. I want to talk about the draft coming up, in the next couple months for NBA. Right now, as it stands, it's funny. ESPN, God love them, they have a lottery simulator on their website. So I just sat there and I just kept clicking to find out what the odds were. And out of 10 clicks, I had the Celtics as a number one pick like 2 times. And I'm going, so there is potential. And I looked up the odds. Right now, Boston stands at having the 3rd pick of the NBA draft. And that's for lottery balls, as in the 3rd best chance. They have a 15% chance of winning. Philadelphia, who is the worst record in the NBA, only has a 25% chance of winning. So there's not much wiggle room there where a Celtics team that, mind you, we just said, are in the playoffs. Not only are they in the playoffs, they're competing for the 4th or the 5th or the 3rd seed right now.
Well, not even seeds. They're a competitive team.
They're a competitive
in the playoffs.
team. They're also one of 2 teams that have given Golden State a run for their money twice.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about a team that they don't just go away. They're not just a lucky team. They really know how to play. I'm pretty sure they've beaten Miami at least 2 out of 3 times this year. So another team that you're expected to be a very good team. Cleveland, I think they've split a series with them. So this is a team that's not, it's not just a fluke. This team can come together and play. So not only are they competitive right now, they're still very young. There's still a lot of players on the contracts for the next couple years. And they have the potential of having 1, 2, or 3, or whatever have you, but a very good chance of having the top 3 pick in this upcoming draft with some decent talent that high up.
Decent?
Well, that's
There's
what I mean.
some amazing
So
talent.
throughout the entire NBA draft, when I'm looking, you have players that okay, I could draft him. That's a name. I haven't really heard of this. Who's this guy? Got to look him up. But there is some big college basketball names in this draft that you've only seen on SportsCenter pretty much every other day throughout this college basketball season with Ben Simmons and I'm forgetting the last name from Duke. Crap, can't remember his name. And then I don't know if Denzel Valentine's in or not. I don't know if he has declared.
I didn't see.
And then you have Buddy Hield, who has declared. There's these names in there that, I mean, it really could go either way for them. And I'm only talking Celtics because obviously we're in that region. So what I get excited about is seeing where those ping pong balls drop, because that could be that first envelope when they open it up could say the Boston Celtics, and then it's like you have you got to compete. You get to do what a lot of teams don't get to do.
No, which is draft and be good from the get-go. Boston's sitting pretty. I mean, it doesn't matter which player they get. They're getting good young talent.
With a coach that is great at maturing these players.
Yeah, I mean, he did it for years in college with Butler. I mean, it is a great spot for a young athlete to come into because he's used to coaching young athletes and building them up and teaching them how to play that game. And he's done a phenomenal job. And they're a scary team to look forward to watching over the next several years as they build and grow their young talent. They are young.
I can only imagine that these next few years they're going to have even higher draft picks, because they have this year alone, I think they have like 7 or 8 draft picks. And this isn't like the NFL where you have 6 rounds. It's not like the baseball season where you have like 20-something rounds. It's only like, 2 or 3 rounds at the NBA draft, and they have 8 picks between them, they're going to trade. Danny Ainge is very good about doing that. He's very good about trading these picks to stockpile for years down the line. This is why they have a potential top 3 pick this year. Granted, something still has to happen tonight for them to have that with the Nets playing, but as of right now stands, they would have the 3rd pick. I'm in awe. I love when managers just get it. They understand. They can forecast this stuff from years down the line. This is only going to propel them even higher.
And the thing for me that I like about the Celtics, and the Lakers have typically been the same way, is these are dynasty programs. I mean, these are systems that through every decade you can name good teams. And they've had rough patches here and there, but for the most part, they're usually pretty competitive. They're not bad for more than a year or two. And that's why, is their ownership, their management sets them up and understands that it's not forever, that you need to be prepared to build throughout time. You can't just rely on a Kobe Bryant coming in and being your superstar for 20 years. You're not going to get that. So you need to be prepared to bring talent in of a high standard every couple of years.
When we're looking at coaching, we're talking about Brad Stevens for the Celtics. And I hate to say this because I know it just sounds like I'm a homer, but I'm really not. I'm not that big of a Celtics fan. I follow them because, again, they're the team in the backyard. I look at all the teams that are going on in the NBA right now, and he almost feels like a lock for Coach of the Year. Am I wrong in thinking that, or is there something to look into with this record that the Warriors are doing? Because I know that's what everyone's going to be looking at. They're going to be looking at a team like the Spurs that, again, they're at the top again. You're going to look at a team, and that's with outplaying a majority of games because of how good they are as a team. And the same thing with the Warriors. Granted, they also had Kerr out for a significant amount of time. So, am I wrong in thinking that that's a possibility that he could win Coach of the Year?
I don't think it's a possibility. I wish it was.
What he did with this team of literally nobodies.
Yes.
You have one name on that, and you have a bunch of college players and young talent that have been able to come together and potentially take, a 3 or 4 seed this year.
I mean, I'm an LA fan. I'm a Lakers fan, but I love Boston. I love what they've done over the years. Stevens is a fantastic coach. He's a great role model. He's a great builder. And he has done a phenomenal job with the Celtics team to bring them back to life. I completely bring them back to life. And the unfortunate thing for this year, as much as I like Golden State, Steve Kerr's not the Coach of the Year. Popovich, he's always a questionable Coach of the Year.
What about Walton?
Yeah.
When he replaced Kerr. I know it's silly to think about that, but
what's
look
sad
what he
is
was.
that you can't vote him. That's
right.
another. You can't even vote him to be Coach of the Year. Which, in my eyes, if you're going to give Coach of the Year, you're an assistant. You came in when your coach was down,
and you kept the streak alive, right?
No, you created the streak. Kerr was out that entire time to start the season. That was all Walton. There's a lot of people deserve it, and they're going to get pushed aside solely because of that record, which
I agree.
Is sad.
I think, and that's what I'm saying. I think that the hard work and dedication and what Stevens has been able to do with the Celtics with such a young team and make them a very competitive team. I think their record doesn't really showcase how well this team does. And how well they compete. Mm-hmm. And I know that that's pretty much the definition of your record is how well you compete against other teams. But I think there's more to it with how well this Celtics team meshes together and how well they play. So, and I know that it's going to get overlooked because a team went 73-9, and it's going to be handed off like a postcard.
Yeah. Which minus, you can almost say the same thing when you look at MVP. Minus, I'm going to debate that a little bit because I truly believe that Curry has earned MVP this year. But when we look at some of the other players that they have in that spot for MVP or that could receive a number 1 vote for MVP, you've got players like Kawhi Leonard. Fantastic season. He's done a great job. You've got Kevin Durant. You've got Russell Westbrook. You've got Who else is in that limelight? Draymond Green's even in the discussion.
Honestly, that was that. If I had to pick just on emotion alone, I would pick Draymond Green, because I think with Curry out sometimes and the way that they've set up their team, you don't necessarily need the high-scoring Curry to win with Golden State. But I think you need that intensity
Of a
Draymond Green to get to the level where they are right now. I get that Curry's made these crazy shots that have kept them in games and won games, but I don't think they're even that close or even in that position if you don't have someone like a Draymond Green. And I always look at most valuable player a little differently than what the writers vote them in. I'm always more of someone, what player could a team absolutely not do without to be the most valuable player? And that's why I would think Draymond Green if I'm looking at that roster.
And I don't disagree with that at all, except for the one thing that I think I look at MVP a little bit different.
Right, and it's just how you look at
exactly.
it. I clearly said I do not look at the MVP like the writers do. The writers are going to look at the stats. They're going to look at the records. They're going to look at a player's minutes. They're going to look at all these things that are statistically what makes you an MVP. I'm not that person. So
I don't look at it so much statistically. I look at it more of dominance. And when you look at a player like Curry and how there has yet to be a player in the NBA this year to shut him down. He's had bad games, but on his own. Bad shooting. There hasn't been one player that can stop him or that can limit him. And every team has tried putting different players on him. Popovich tried putting Kawhi Leonard on him, and he ate him up. And this is one player who it's either him or Draymond Green to win Defensive Player of the Year, and he can't stop him. His dominance is just so overwhelming. And the games that they've lost or the games that he hasn't played well are because his shooting hasn't been right, not because you stopped him. And that's why
and he's faced a lot of adversity this year, of a lot of old-time players saying, I would be able to stop him. I'd stop him to 10 points if I were out in that court. And that's not the style of basketball I want to see the sport going to. And I mean, he's faced a lot of adversity this year, and he's come out and publicly said that he's sick of hearing it. Mm-hmm. And he's still able to play at the caliber of Curry that we've been used to seeing this year.
I mean, the style of his play and the dominance of him is his shots look like circus shots. I mean, these shots,
right?
That no one expects to make these, and he thinks he's making every one of them,
right?
And he does, and that's the crazy part.
I know it's hard to compare, but it just in a humorous way. It's almost like when I watch, my dad will say, "Hey, come watch this clip of Larry Bird make this shot." And you'd watch it and you'd be like, wow, like it's like he knew it was going in. Like he takes the shot and he's already turned around. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like in that sense, like that's how I kind of see Curry. There's just so much confidence that I can shoot it from anywhere on this court and it's going to go in.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I see. I see that kind of like from Larry Bird. When you're watching highlights of Larry Bird, you could go on YouTube, watch it right, go Larry Bird's greatest shots on YouTube, and you're like, how did he make these? Mm-hmm. And that's the kind of player that I see in Curry. You watch a top 10 of Curry and you go, those shouldn't go in, but they do.
And it's not only just the shots that he's making that make him so magical. It's his footwork. It's his dribbling ability.
He's a very quick player.
The fact that he knows it doesn't matter who's on him. Put LeBron on me. Put Kawhi Leonard on me. These guys that are so much bigger, longer, and still fast.
He finds ways to beat you.
And he burns you. He makes you look dumb. I mean, his step back, his dribble sideways. He is magic to watch. And it doesn't matter whether or not he's taking that shot or not. Watching him make all-star players, potential superstar legends look like rookies, it makes your jaw drop. But let's move on to a couple of the other ones because I like these too. The person who's supposed to win Sixth Man of the Year.
You're going to say someone from Golden State, so go ahead.
Iguodala.
Okay.
He shouldn't be. There's no reason he should be sixth
It's
man
the
of the year.
limelight.
It is.
You're in the spotlight right now. That's why these players are going to win. It's the ESPYs every year. They are in mid-July or mid-June or something like that. They happen every year, the ESPYs. And it's usually a basketball team or a hockey team that wins some kind of award because that's what's in people's recent memories. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be the same thing when we come down to the final, when the writers and whoever put in their votes for, sixth man, defensive, offensive, all these coaches.
We're not talking about Peyton Manning anymore winning his second NFL title going out that way.
Speaking of the Super Bowl, that's one of the most watched events ever was this last Super Bowl, and it usually is every year. It's always like, oh, the Super Bowl's next, Super Bowl's next. In my opinion, you're going to get 7 of those moments when the Spurs play the Warriors in the conference finals.
Word.
I can't wait. I really can't, and I'm not even a big basketball fan, and I cannot wait for that.
Now, you will not take me away from the TV. I don't care who you are.
The only thing I hate about it is that I'm going to look more forward to the Spurs at home, because the game will be on an hour earlier, and that works for me. I'm getting older. I'm getting older. I can't stay up late.
I don't disagree with you, but I mean, my simple point is when those games come on, Laura, find someone to watch Tyler. Peyton, get out of my house. Go find somewhere to be. Stay out of my way, man. Those games are going to be fun.
We got a few more minutes here on Huddle Up. You can call in with your comments, 802-527-6449.
I've got our next topic, and you're going to love me for it.
We got 8 minutes. Go.
How about
Is this basketball still?
Sandoval popping his belt?
Thank you.
Because he's an idiot and overweight. And why are we playing a guy who can't seem to hit the freaking ball?
Wow, look at this. Why isn't Travis Shaw playing more? This is a kid that this spring proved to you that he belongs in the starting role in Travis Shaw. And he starts. These last 7 games, the Red Sox are 3-4. I'm not going to get so much into their offensive production because it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
They've scored 40 runs in 7 games, which is in a small sample size that we're already in 7 games in the baseball season. I know we got 162, but in a small sample size, that's good. That's good enough for 5th in the MLB right now, tied with Baltimore, who you just lost to again last night. So the 2 teams in the AL East of the top 5 are right now scoring the most runs. It's on the defensive side and pitching where they're letting up too many runs, which is why they're 3-4. But you're talking about a team that is playing so well offensively. Let this kid play. You've dubbed him the starting role. Let him play instead of letting someone.
Just him.
Instead of I'm getting on the Travis Shaw. You have someone like Pablo Sandoval and Chris Young, who played for, I had to look this up because I was like, where have I heard this name before? He played for Arizona for years. You have these 2 guys that keep replacing Travis Shaw. Let the kid play. If he strikes out, if he gets out, at least you gave him a chance. Because right now, you're taking the bat out of this kid's hands where he's proven to you all spring, I can do this. In the first series, he proved to you every single game that I can do this. Let's see it on a bigger sample size. Let's see it on a larger scale.
Oh, absolutely.
And you instead have someone like Sandoval come in who has proven to you he doesn't care about his body. He doesn't seem to care about the team and the success of the team, because otherwise he would have come back a little leaner and meaner and ready to play ball. And he breaks his buckle on a swinging pitch. Are you kidding me?
And
he is a laughing stock of Boston right now.
It's pathetic. And for me...
And he's still pinch hitting.
I know. The first game Sandoval played, and they sat Ortiz after back-to-back home run nights. He's hitting well. They sit Ortiz on DH and play Sandoval? Why?
Here's why. Here's the magic reason.
He's making the money.
$17.9 million.
Oh my God.
But here's the thing. Here's what I don't understand is you have someone like Dave Dombrowski, who is I think we got 5 minutes here. I'll huddle up. You can call up and talk baseball with us. And you have a general manager in Dave Dombrowski who he can wipe his hands with Sandoval. He did not make this deal. If he tells John Farrell, do not play Sandoval, it's no skin off his back at all because he didn't make that deal. If he wants to ship Sandoval off for a bucket of balls and a couple extra belts, that's fine with me. I don't care.
Get rid
because
of him.
I'm looking at a player in Travis Shaw that is your next superstar at third base. They haven't had a superstar at third base since God knows when. They had Kevin Youkilis play there a little while. They had Shea Hillenbrand back in the early 2000s, but that's a heck of a stretch to call them superstars.
Yeah.
Will Middlebrooks was supposed to be your next superstar at third base, and he tanked. You have someone in Travis Shaw that shows so much potential in range and with a bat. Why not just let him play?
He's young
It's
talent.
funny. There's Lou Merloni, former Red Sox player. He's a Twitter phenom during these Red Sox games. And the one thing he keeps saying, and I completely, absolutely agree with this, is let them suck a little. If there are new talent, it's okay to be bad for a little while. It's okay because that's how they're going to learn. I want to see that from Travis Shaw. You're not going to just put him into a situation every time so he can excel. He's got to learn to develop his skills.
But this is my biggest catch with this. Since this year has started, the regular season, he hasn't sucked.
Right,
He's
exactly.
played well. Why is he not still on
He's
that?
in all these situations where it's like 2 outs, man on second, and he drives him in. Let him keep going. Why are you taking him out? Because you're playing a lefty batter or something? Or a righty batter is coming up. Let's put Sandoval in because he's a lefty. I don't believe in that stuff.
No.
I get that there are statistics out there that show that left-handed batters should face right-handed pitchers and all that junk, or vice versa. But I don't see.
I'd rather play the guy
issue.
who's playing well
Exactly.
than the fat man
Thank you.
who can't play baseball right now.
He doesn't have the swing he had. I get he's a 3-time World Series champion.
I don't
He was
care.
also 40 pounds lighter when he was a World Series champion. This guy it's crazy to me to think that he's the same weight as I am, because if I were
no
swinging,
way.
it's incredible.
No
Incredible.
way.
Oh, what are you at now? Oh, 235, 24. Bull.
Yeah.
Ain't no way, dude.
You're pushing 300 pounds.
Easily.
Easily.
Especially when I kept thinking, what was the thing the comparison I made was I saw Sandoval break his belt, and all I could think of was not even Mo Vaughn broke his belt, and that guy was the essence of huge.
Yeah.
It's so disappointing to see that they're not letting him play. Am I worried about the Red Sox 3-4 right now? I know there's a lot of speculation that John Farrell, the manager, is outplaying himself. He's thinking too much, and I think he is. But I'm not worried. This team is hitting like crazy. My friend had called me up the other day, and he goes, "Man, the Red Sox, they got a couple losses, a couple dead losses." I'm like, "Who cares? They're hitting.
Well,
I don't care if they're
there's
hitting.
also talk
The
about them
pitching
getting
is different."
Price and getting rid of Sandoval, so there might be potential for that too.
Right, and with Price pitching, decently well, he pitched great his first outing.
Not Price. Who's the pitcher they're going after?
Shields out in
yeah.
San Diego.
Shields.
I don't see that happening because I don't see San Diego giving up Shields for Sandoval. I'm not worried about the Red Sox. I get they're 3-4, but you also faced a Baltimore team a couple times. They're 7-0. They're hitting the crap out of the ball, and they're letting up nothing. They've only let up 22 runs this season, which is for 5th best, and they're tied with the Red Sox for most runs scored. Yeah, when you score the most runs and you let up the least amount of runs, yeah, you're going to win some ball games.
Yeah.
So I'm not too worried about that. We have less than a minute. Shout out this. We won't be back next week. We'll be back the week after that on Huddle Up. He's going away. He's not going to Kobe's last game, and I'm gonna probably enjoy the nice day. So shout out to all my Patriots Day marathon runners on Monday. Looking forward to another good day in Boston. Until then, I'm Paul. He's JT, and this is Huddle Up. Hey sports fans, Paul Snyder here, programming coordinator for Northwest Access TV, here to tell you about a couple opportunities that we have here going on at the station. The high school sports season is always a busy time of year. From the ice rink, hardwood, diamond, or gridiron, there are just way too many games for us to cover alone. That's where you come in.
Tobin with the ball.
Over to Mark Connor. He wants it, won't take it. Harvey will. For three!
We're looking for volunteers with a passion for sports that want to get involved at Northwest Access TV to help record the games in Franklin County. Whether it's from behind the camera catching all the action or simply lending your voice as a play-by-play announcer, we need your help.
Baseball pass. Shot, taken, misses, and that's the game.
So contact Northwest Access TV today to find out how you can get involved. 802-527-6474 or email us at info@northwestaccess.tv. On Northwest Access TV, local sports is a big part of our programming. We like to re-air the game several times so that local fans can catch the action when they can. So why not take advantage of this if you're a local nonprofit or business? Become a sports sponsor on Northwest Access TV. In exchange for a $500 donation, you receive a 15-second spot about your company at the beginning and end of the rebroadcast games for an entire season. We're talking pennies per spot. It doesn't get much better than that. Contact Northwest Access TV to find out how you can become a high school sports sponsor. Game-winning goals, buzzer beaters, or one-handed catches. Relive all the greatest sports moments of this year from the comfort of your own home, whether it's an entire season or just one magic moment.
Sabaka out to Casarino. Casarino puts it up and hits a three-pointer.
A DVD of that special game will run you about $15 with an additional $5 for every copy after that. If you want to order an entire season, give us a call for some special prices. A perfect gift for the coach or athlete in your family. 2 ways to order, either online or by phone. NorthwestAccess.tv, click on the Buy a Show tab, or give us a call, 802-527-6474. Order your copy today.